Welcome to this video on fakes and how to identify a fake. Now, how do we determine if somebody is a fake or a Facebook group, for an example? How do you know that there's something going on that is not right within it? Well, let's take a moment here and discuss this. I've been in a group, for an example, now for a little while. Probably about 2 weeks, maybe a month max. I don't really post in it that much because I've been so busy with other things. But I've noticed since I've had more time to teach and educate and delve into the practices once again, that there's a lot of questions being asked in this group. And some of them, and I shouldn't say some, but most of the questions being asked are logical. They're very excellent questions. Okay? Now, the kicker of this is that the admin and mediators are not educating this group, the members of this group. They're not even sharing information. They've laid down a bunch of rules, logical rules. No nudity, no porn, no blocking the admin, the basic, mumbo jumbo. However, one of the main rules that sticks out on this group is do not seek out teachers. Okay? And it doesn't say anything about teachers going to a student and answering their questions or guiding them to the material. Well, these admins and mediators have gone in and they literally removed my comments. They removed my posts. And when I went to the admin and I said, hey, what do you guys think about having live video lessons or any form of lessons put forth that will help the group, prosper? I was verbally warned not to share my knowledge, not to share my teachings, not to do any form of videos in any of their groups. So I ended up posting on my main Facebook page and in a couple of other groups about this group, and a friend of mine, Raven White, came to me and said, let me try something. So she ended up sharing an article that was posted by a friend of hers, and not only was it removed, it was basically deleted, and she ended up in a little bit of an argument, or I wouldn't say it's an argument because I read the posts that she shared on the conversation. And it was kind of interesting because not only did this individual block her, but they deleted her post. And it's like, okay, wait a minute here. This is interesting. It's a dualism of a double negative. On one hand, it's black magic for beginners. Okay? You claim you want people to learn, but yet how do you learn if you have nobody to share their knowledge with you? It's like being a Satanist and an atheist at the same time. It's a double negative and it cancels itself out. So, even though I sent the same message to both admins, to Cheryl Trogonis Riley and Pi Darkstone. I kid you not, the guy's name was Pi Darkstone. Pie, as in a slice of pie. Okay. That I've heard a lot of dumbass names, but that one just took the cake. And what's funny is another friend of mine actually pointed that out to me, and I hadn't even noticed it, which was kind of amusing. So, but anyways, the mediators to this group Terry Rebello and Erica Dow. Okay? Not only did they not get involved, but Pi claims that it was an overall admin conclusion that nobody teaches in this group. And we're not even allowed to teach in any other group or share knowledge in any other group owned by the admin, by them. Now, I thought I'd take a moment and share this with you because of the fact that it makes occultism, witchcraft, Satanism, and demonolatry practices of the left hand and right hand paths look like idiots. And this is the reason nobody takes things seriously, is because you have these idiots out there that look and talk the talk, but yet they themselves has zero knowledge, nothing to offer, nothing to share. You know, it's like, I hate to burst your bubble, but as admin and mediators, it is your duty, your responsibility to educate your students, your members. It is your sole responsibility to lead and guide them among their paths. I'm not saying be a know-it-all, because nobody really knows everything. But it is your responsibility to share PDFs, to share book sources, to give knowledge, and to share your knowledge amongst others within your path, within these groups. Just because somebody does not share your path, I am not a Luciferian. I am not a Christian. In fact, I shun Christianity. But I will use their doctrines against them, and I will show the similarities of the doctrines, of the knowledge. As a multi-faith ordained minister, it is my responsibility to share this knowledge, to help guide others, and to teach them. I am not only responsible as the Black Pope of the Order of the Black Thorn, and yes, I was dubbed that by Facebook itself, which is kind of humorous because I didn't even think that Facebook as a computer system can actually do that. But it changed my status as Magus to the Black Pope, which is okay with me. I just went with it because it sounded much cooler. But still, it's just a title. Just like the term warlock, magus, sage, mage, and wizard, and sorcerer. It is a title, not a practitioner. The practitioner is the one that is responsible to not only share their knowledge, but to educate others. And these admin and mediators within Black Magic for Beginners group clearly has dropped the ball. They never read the fine print, so as they say. And the reason their group is failing, the reason there is so many uneducated individuals in that group is because nobody has taken the reins. Nobody has stepped up to the plate and offered guidance. Nobody has offered to share knowledge, to become a teacher or a guide, a minister or whatever. But if we look back throughout history, we see over the last 1,000 years that ministers and clergy have been the primitive, pivotal points behind any philosophical and religious viewpoint of practice. In Druidism, the Druids were considered priests and priestesses of the Druidic faiths. Okay? They were wise men and women who built their practice around nature. much in the same way the priests and priestesses in voodoo, and Budan, hoodooism, Palo Mayombe, and so many others, including Christianity, and in witchcraft circles such as paganism and Wicca, I might add, lead the covens and lead the masses. They were considered wise men and women and sought after. They not only had the knowledge to heal, to wound, to curse, but they also shared their knowledge. In old times, it used to be passed down through vocal. Today, we have books. We have ministers who are sharing their personal experiences with other individuals. So this group and any group associated with it are fake. And it is clearly due to time to call these idiots out and show them the difference between a real practitioner and a wannabe. And they clearly are wannabes, because they are doing more damage to the occult and to the left-hand path practices, be it witchcraft, shamanism, voodoo, hoodoo, Santa Maria, La Santa Muerte, Pelo, Quimbanda, Umbanda, or even Druidism or Gypsy magic. Okay? They have clearly been leading the masses on to which they cannot prosper. The blind cannot lead the blind. It's like Dumb and Dumber. But like I said, these individuals, the members themselves, are asking good questions. The cancer is clearly at the top. And that befalls the administration team. That befalls the mediators. And most importantly, the owner of that group. And the fact that they have other groups that they own, I would be surprised to see that they're actually the same way. Well, I wouldn't say the same way, more of the fact that if they were better off. Because the way this group is, I can clearly tell you, flat out, they're going nowhere. They're not going anywhere, and they are not going to be around very long if things keep going the way they are. Trust me, I've been in this for 28 years, and I have personally seen many orders, many groups rise, and I have seen just as many fall. Very, very few have what it takes to go the distance. Very few have what it takes to stand alone and stand apart as a beacon, to share knowledge, to teach from things of the past and of the future. Everybody today is trying to change things into what is going to be, but nobody really has the knowledge of where things came from, because nobody wants to date back and do their research into the past. It's only hearsay. Well, I was told this. Really? Then how do you explain these sources? How do you explain this, and this? The truth is, if you don't do your own research, you're not going to get very far. But how do you know what resources to actually gain? Well, if you don't know, then ask. The admin team, be it the admins themselves or the mediators, have to have knowledge. They have to have wisdom, and they have to have understanding. And most of all, they have to have patience to do what they got to do. And to run an order, be it multiple Facebook groups or just one. Patience is key. And knowledge is power. And true power is undefiled wisdom. So with that said, this is a heads up about fakes. Real practitioners will share knowledge. They will show you where to go. They will lead you by the hand and say, hey, these are the sources that I would recommend because it worked for me. Whereas those who claim to be admin, claim to be practitioners, and own their own groups and really do nothing with it, they're fakes. Plain and simple. They're wannabes. They're has-beens. They are not worth the urine that comes out of your bodies. Plain and simple. And these individuals need to be pushed out. They need to be cut out like a cancer with a scalpel. Or in this case, I would recommend a butter knife just to make it more painful. Maybe even a spoon or a fork. Maybe one of those spoon or fork combination ones that come in the the little plastic baggies with a napkin at fast food chains. Yeah, that would actually be even better. So that's this video on fakes and how to identify them. Until next time, enjoy.